some deep pockets coming in here. We're live, by the way, too. I just started it.
Oh,
So
hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at vintage. It's
yeah. I mean, we could talk about vintage too if you want today.
Get a little bit. I mean, it's not my world, but it's impossible
All
to
right.
ignore. Yeah.
We are live too. Double check. Stream looks good. Perfect. Oh, dude, you promoted it on Discord. Thank you, man.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it.
Now.
Chuck, how you doing, man? Thank you for taking the time.
I am good. It's hard to not be good when you work and you come home and you look at the market and it went up 3%. And you do that every day for weeks, basically. So it's and Pokemon and things are great, man. How are you? It looks like you're doing quite well, judging from your background.
Look, these are all empty. Those are all empty cases. So I actually only have like 10 prismatic ETBs. That's it.
That's sick.
No, but I actually moved most of my stuff to storage this year.
Yeah, same.
And then what I'm keeping at my house is just ETBs. So it's like the bulkiest things.
That Pokédean video had me shook. I mean, it's horrible, but it did. I did move a bunch of stuff as well. I built shelves in my closets, all of our closets at our house, to store Pokemon. And then that happened and I just moved everything except like bundles. So
you probably have some really cool shelves now though.
I do. They look really nice, but I'm going to put this on there.
There you go.
This little Game Boy. I bought it. Okay.
Is that the jukebox?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
Very cool. You want to show it off?
Yeah. I literally got home right before this and I had a package on my doorstep. But honestly, I think it's pretty sick. I think it's sold out pretty quickly, but it does have the stamps on there, and I think people were like pretty keen on that. Also got the prismatic, and it came with the stuffed animal, way bigger than I thought it was going to be. Like insanely big.
Was that on the PC?
Yeah. Look at this thing, dude.
That's huge.
I don't know what to do with that, but I was joking that if you got the Vaporeon one, you're an absolute freak. But a lot of people disagree.
I gotta ask you, man, because your channel's popping off. I think you made your Monday video. It was something titled about euphoria in the Pokemon market. Are we at peak insanity in Pokemon right now?
I was gonna ask you that, but I think we're certainly in the conversation. If we're not, this guy. Yeah, I can tell. That's a Chucker viewer, by the way. I don't know. I think there's no. Here's what I know. Since I've been making videos, there are times when a bunch of new people flood into the space. And I can tell when it happens, and they're leaving comments on my channel. And usually that directly correlates to tops of markets. I'm not saying we're at the top right now. I think there's a lot of room for growth. I do think we're probably going to have some, I don't know if stagnation is the right word, but a little bit of exhaustion with like the way prices are going up, just like they did last year. I think it's natural. I just don't know when it's going to happen. So just kind of enjoying the ride, but I think if there's a range of time where we're in euphoria, we're probably in it, or at least in the beginning of it,
My question too, second question, I guess, is what do you think is causing this?
I think it's a perfect storm of a lot of different things. I think it starts with more macroeconomic factors. Personally, this is kind of my own opinion. It is driving a lot of people. Like affordability is such a problem. There's all types of issues with job prospects and just when younger people especially think about their future, where are they going to put money to get ahead right now? And with the way that like gambling is on the rise, I think it's kind of shaping and somewhat wiring how a lot of people's brains are when they're thinking about how to get ahead. I think that's kind of where it starts. And then, obviously with crypto and everything, it kind of showed that there can be a lot of confidence in an alternative asset class. Now we're on a huge bull run. Demand and supply come into play. It booms. during Twilight Masquerade into Surging, less product are available, prices go up. Then the confidence keeps building, and then what do you know? An incredible set, Prismatic, comes out at the most opportune time imaginable. And then it just kind of compiles now. And then you have notification services coming in, making huge waves, creating a lot of FOMO, creating, for better or for worse, right? It's given a lot of people the ability to get product, but there's also the dark underbelly of that where it makes it harder to get product inversely. Botting has gotten way bigger. I don't think a lot of people truly understand the scale of botting. As long as there's profit to be made in Pokemon right now, like all of that is going to be flourishing. Rip and shipping is as big as it's ever been. That's probably the biggest factor, I would say, generally speaking. But I think it starts with like making profit and how generally the average person feels coming to the space, seeing an incredible opportunity, and ultimately taking product off the market, whether or not they rip it, which a lot of people are. So I think it's like a perfect storm of everything. But I do think the macroeconomic environment that we're in fuels that greatly. And then it all feeds off of each other. And then, of course, there's other things too. But yeah, those are generally my thoughts. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think it's just all Logan Paul promoting Rip It, man.
Yeah, Rip It is taking over.
The GOAT is back.
Hope you guys are in the giveaways for that and sharing with your friends. I
agree with you, though.
Do you feel like Logan Paul actually impacted anything? Because I feel like it didn't really that much.
It's so tough to tell.
Yeah,
it's really tough to tell. I mean,
maybe for whales, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously people talked about it, and there were a lot of eyes on those auctions, so it has to have some level of impact. But yeah. I agree with you. I think it's a lot of what's going on, outside of just Pokemon that's influencing what's going on here in our world. So
yeah.
Well,
I know you work with a lot of high net worth individuals. Like, how are you seeing that trend compared to, historically in Pokemon, which is just like the average collector, now becoming an investor? Like, what does the future look like as far as where you think the opportunity will be, or how it can be like institutionalized? I suppose. Like,
it's a good question. I'll say this: like, I still see a lot of people coming in where they're kind of just discovering this, and it's more collectible for them. They just want to get in because it's trendy. They like collecting the cards, whatever, and that's cool. But there are a lot of people coming in. Their goal is to make money. They're willing to spend a lot of money on product, whether it's sealed or the top graded cards in any game. So I think, institutionalization, it's going to be difficult to tell how that really ultimately ends up. Like, I know what some people are doing, storing product. They're going to have, periods of time, whether it's 5 to 7 years, where they can't touch it. So how does that turn out in the future in, let's say, 2031 or 2033, when there's presumably going to be a lot of product that these people need to sell or move? But it does seem like the confidence from outside investors is at an all-time high.
Yeah, it is interesting that like the driving factor of Pokemon is kind of built on the fact that it's a physical product that's ultimately, for lack of a better word, deflationary. There's fewer of the product over time, but it's also simultaneously one of the reasons why, for high net worth individuals coming in really making an impact, or like institutions, like financial institutions coming in making an impact, being able to liquidate that, while it's like we are in the most liquid time possible right now, for where we are, it's like that's also the biggest limiting factor, I think. Where are you going to store it? How are you going to sell it? It's tough.
To piggyback on that, because I think it's a great point. I think that if someone wanted to come into this space and make a lot of money, I think there's going to be, within the next couple of years, maybe even sooner, there's going to be a service where people who don't want to store stuff at their homes or in
100%.
storage lockers, You're going to send it to this company, and I guarantee it's probably going to be one of the big players that ultimately ends up owning that space. But we
I
already
could see it
kind of
being
see it
like
with the vault.
PSA. Yeah,
Yeah,
PSA is doing
exactly.
that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a
And I
lot of
think
real estate for sealed.
for sure, 100%. Like you definitely need more than just slabs. But that's the thing too, is I talk to a lot of these guys, and if they want to put $1 million into TCGs, and they like my strategy of just buying sealed product, $1 million of sealed product takes up a lot of space.
Oh, it's
Even like six
insane.
figures, right? 100K. So
Yeah, I mean,
that'll be a service.
you're coming up kind of. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say you're coming up on $1 million, but realistically, you're probably not that far away in the grand scheme of things. Like
It's
for
insane to think
you,
about.
yeah. If you watch if your Kingpin series, which if you're not, you should be. Not to plug, but it is really interesting.
We're supposed to be showing your channel in this live stream, man,
Well,
not my channel.
I think it's a 6 series, but like, can you imagine having basically 3 times as much as you do? I mean, I suppose you can, but that's a
Or the
serious
same
amount of
amount that
product.
triples.
Yeah, you could just hold it for, I don't know, a decade less.
I feel like everyone talks about Sword and Shield, and I still have a lot of Brilliant and Chilling, and those are only like $500 boxes.
Yeah, you were one of the
So
OG Brilliant Chilling Shillers. I remember. I
I
was
got
watching
lucky,
you
man.
like a couple of years ago.
I got really lucky. So yeah, like I hope within 10 years it gets to that level. I think that'd be cool, but who knows? Like
You
if we
still
have
have
another
your Brilliant
boom.
boxes? Like all of them?
I have 50, I think. 49 or 50 still.
That's
Yeah.
insane. What can I ask you what you're like? You probably already said this on your channel. I don't remember. What's like your average buy-in on those at this point, roughly?
I can tell you exactly. I want to say it's like one. Give me 2 seconds. I'll tell you the exact number. It is $197.61 Canadian.
Canadian? Yeah.
So that's
It's like what, 150?
145 approximately.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
man.
They were all in stock on the Pokemon Center.
You can buy cases.
So, yeah.
We should have known once Silver. I remember Silver Tempest was one of the last Sword and Shield boxes in stock, and they switched the quantity from 6 to 4. That should have been the sign.
Yeah, man.
And I passed on Silver Tempest cases at 700. Just insane.
The deals we had available to us in 2023, even early 2024, Paldean at $90, $100. I don't know about you. The one that I hate is not getting more 151.
Yeah. I think for where I was, like financially, where I was in like my investing confidence, I'm happy with what I got. But I mean, I always wish I had more. For me, it's a little bit prismatic ETBs. I wish I had way more cases of prismatic ETBs. Even like sub 1,000, there was multiple month period. I mean, 151's so obvious, but the signs were there with 151. There weren't, I think when it was out, I remember buying bundles on Walmart, and they would be in stock for like 3 days, and then they would sell out. And at the time, there was basically no other set that was doing what it was doing, selling out. So, you know what you know now. Of course, I think investing has gotten so much more. There's such a more refined process as to like the signs that we see, what to look for, and what's going to do well. But at that time, it was not the case. But who knows? Maybe we'll be saying that about 151 in like 2 years from now. Oh, I wish I bought bundles at 140. Or what? 160 now, I guess. Sorry, it's been 2 days. My bad.
I was gonna say this might be a very hot take, and I was talking to Alex about this earlier on the week, maybe last week, whenever. I think that buying 151 at these levels, there might be better places to put your money at this point. There might be.
I don't feel comfortable buying 151 at this price. The price memory for me is too strong. Like I just bought my last purchase of 151 was 7 bundles at 95 each, and that was in January at a card show. And it is now 60%, 50% more expensive. I just can't justify that when I look at something like Prismatic that's going out of rotation in a year, and bundles are still very affordable, and we just got a restock on Target, so there's probably going to be even more affordable. I just see, I know 151 is interesting in that it's pure Gen 1, but I just can't justify that price. Even though I think packs are going to be well over $30 by the end of the year, I don't know. The ROI might not be as high, but we could just be wrong. It could just continue.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm willing to be wrong.
Possible.
Yeah.
We should take some comments here. We do have a super chat that came in too from Colin. So we'll take this first.
This guy is insane.
Benefitness Studio, two of my favorite YouTubers. Thanks for helping me track down the Ascended case. Yeah, no problem. No problem. That was, I think, the last one too, Colin.
What do you mean? You helped him track down a case?
Yeah, he messaged me on Facebook. He's like, dude, I want some Ascended. I was like, okay, here you go.
I'll message you after this, Grayson.
I'm taking action sooner on this set and stacking cases. I agree. I think that's going to be the play. ETBs are going to get the Costco treatment, but I feel great about the case. Yeah, 100%, Colin. I agree. I have two cases, so I don't know about Chuck, what his position's looking like, but zero.
I've been waiting. Although I did have somebody in the Discord offer a case at 950.
Wow.
Like a week ago.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, something like that. And I was like, let me just give me a little bit. I might get back to you on that. They probably already sold it for what, 1,300 now or whatever. But I don't know, man. Historically, I think, yeah, I know, DJ, but here we are. I'm dealing with some tax stuff. It's complicated. We won't get into all that, but it's the time of year. But I think, sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going. You're cooking.
I was just going to say, the argument was there with Prismatic for elite trainer boxes. When you looked at Paldean Fates, when you looked at 151, there is a time frame that's unofficial that the Pokemon sets on certain products, right? Booster boxes, ETBs. They move away from that. They have clearly done that to at least as far as we can tell with Prismatic, which is why ETBs are, I think the narrative is helping surge, or the price surge. And I think now people are a lot more confident getting their position early on Ascended. Of course, like demand and supply is even higher than when Prismatic was getting released, I think. But people are willing to pay $9,800 on Ascended all day long just to make sure that they have their boxes. And if you dollar cost average, you're not going to be dollar cost averaging that much lower probably at this point. But I mean, we'll see,
I was going to say too, when I think of Prismatic last year, a lot of the ETBs, I want to say in like April, May, that time period, they were basically the same price loose compared to cases, at least in Canada. And then by like July, August, there started to be a little bit of a gap growing. And obviously it's continued growing. Like cases are much more difficult to find at a reasonable price now.
Yeah.
That's why I look at Ascended cases and go, if I want a big position, I may as well start now. And then again, like, last year I said with Prismatic, anytime they restock, I'll buy more. Even in November, I bought another 20 ETBs. So that's same strategy I'm going to use with Ascended.
Yeah, I bought a few in like January. They were like 120. And I was like, that's still a great buy. It's crazy how fast things move. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I think also when you are at the level that you're at, you can afford to do that all day long. Like your time horizon, you have so much confidence in Pokemon. I'm not saying like I don't or somebody else watching doesn't. But there's an experience level there where we've seen the cycle again and again and again. You're more than happy to deploy a small percentage of capital available to just secure that, in the off chance that you won't be able to. So it is interesting to see.
What about Perfect Order, man? Are you going to go all in on that?
I don't think it's going to go below MSRP, at least this year. In 2027, if the printing facility is like mostly up and running. I know it's supposed to be finished in 2028, but whatever. Maybe things will be different. But I mean, you're already seeing some support coming in on booster boxes because that narrative around booster boxes is that strong. I don't have any Perfect Order pre-ordered at all.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had PCTVs, but I was working and I missed the PC drop. But I was not sweating about it, you know. What about
Same with me.
you? Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. No, I'm tempted to get one box just for the memes, but
Yeah.
outside of that, like it's hard to justify spending like $230 on perfect order when Surging Sparks is 255,
100%.
250. I don't even know what it is right now. Like
I
pull
would
it up.
rather buy prismatic than that. I mean, obviously. But
The
even when you look
bundles?
at, oh yeah,
Okay.
even bundles. Even if I think we'll get more bundles of prismatic this year compared to boxes, that's long term. I set picking is just, it's a thing. Like it's not hard to do. Perfect
Mhm.
order. It doesn't. It's it's just the newest set. When Chaos Rising comes out, when the Dark Rise set comes out, Rayquaza, and then the 30th, it's gonna be doing what Journey is doing, but worse, probably. You know,
I would
what's the
assume so.
point?
Yeah. By the way, we have 187 people in here, man. So that tells me the market's booming.
It is, bro.
Or it's just the Chuck effect.
It's the Chuck effect. The Chuckers roll, they roll deep and they roll weird for Vaporeon, unfortunately. So you got to
Two
take the good with the bad.
shots. Yeah. Hey, look, it could be worse. Could be Jolteon. I don't know about you, but not a big Jolteon fan. Two shots in here. Breadwinner. We'll just take a couple shout outs here. By the
Please.
way, I know you still do it sometimes. Do you want to do maybe some portfolio reviews?
Hell yeah, dude. We got to do
If
a
anyone's
couple.
interested?
We got to do at
Okay.
least one today.
Do you have some lined up
Dude, I have
that you're
hundreds.
saving?
I have too many. And I apologize to everybody who's submitted, and I haven't gotten to yours yet. So I have a few.
If you want to, because I don't know if you can share your screen on this, but if you want to send me one in Discord, I can open it and then we could go through it if you
Yeah,
want.
I'll try to find one with like some context. I think buy-in prices make it way better.
Okay.
So I'll try to dig one up.
Save the juicy ones for your channel, obviously, but we'll go through one or two. Pedro, what's up, man? Let's go. Thank you for being here. Pro Rain, this is what alpha male discussion looks like. Nah, man. I'm too fat to be considered alpha male, and I'm bald. Like the looks maxing is just not there.
And I go to therapy, so you know, can't claim that.
Looking forward to this one. Yeah, thank you, Colin. Appreciate the super chat as well. Are they both Canadian or just Pokey Profit?
I'm in America, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to disappoint you.
A good yank.
Mm-hmm.
Hafa Ida from Guam. What's going on, John? Thank you for stopping by. The cruising nurse is here as well. By the way, guys, if you have questions for myself or Chuck or both of us, feel free to leave a comment. Put question in the front of it, and I'm sure we'll get to some of them. I saw DJ in here too. I want to give a shout out to DJ.
That's the boy.
What's up, man? Thank you for stopping by. What's the ascended position looking like right now? Just humble. I have 2 cases of ETBs.
Humble.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Just a couple cases. That's all. Hopefully there's going to be more. My goal, stack them to the ceiling all the way up.
Stack them to the ceiling in the storage unit. Am I right?
Look, do you feel like the meta now with everyone's stuff being stolen is just buy ETBs and UPCs because they're bulky?
Yeah, they did leave them behind, didn't they?
Bro, it would take a while, man. You know, I think about how long it took me to move everything. And it's like surely it would be, even if there was multiple people, right, that found my storage unit home and they wanted to move everything, bro, it'd be like an hour.
Yeah, if your alarms are going off and you know you get the camera feeds active and they're trying to put Megazard UPCs in a trash bag, they can only put 3 in there. Yeah, it would suck.
It would take a while for sure. Who else do we have in here? Pat Moore Poker. How do you feel about a 151 ETB being more expensive than Evolving Skies? Just got an Evolving Skies ETB locally for $400 with an acrylic. You want to take this one?
I'm not surprised. I think the Scarlet and Violet leveled up their ETBs, and 151 happens to be arguably the best set in Scarlet and Violet. It's certainly performing the best right now. The Gen 1 nostalgia is going to carry for years and didn't get the prismatic print treatment. So while I think Evolving is a generational set, I don't think the ETB is like the best place to put your money in Evolving Skies at this point. 151, arguably, it's just different. I think the rip and shipping is hammered, especially the good sets in Scarlet and Violet. And that's really the main thing.
I think to add on top of that, it's just a lot to do with the promo as well, I would imagine. Evolving no promo.
Yeah.
Snorlax, I think, is like $20 now, which again, when you do it dollar for dollar, when you add up the packs and the promo, it doesn't really make sense. But I think just the fact that there is a promo in there for collectors and investors, like mentally, it reshapes how people think about things. So
yeah,
my guess is that's playing. And also, there were a lot of evolving ETBs going through Costco in those bundles and stuff.
In TikTok shop? I don't know if you were around for TikTok. I mean, you were. I don't know if you had that in Canada.
We didn't have it in Canada, I don't think.
Dude,
and I'm not on TikTok, so.
Yeah, I only downloaded it because you get a coupon. At that time, you got like a 30% off like once a week. But evolving ETBs were like flooding that marketplace for like $80 each at that time, and not including the discount. So that was not the case for 151. There were just fewer of them.
Yeah. So I think that's what's going on there. Paldean Fates comment, when will the run on PF happen? I feel like it's already kind of started, but I don't know. Soon?
It's happened. At least
soon.
I guess the question is like, when is it, when do we go from 151 to Paldean Fates? But ETBs are $300, right? The Great Tusk boxes are nearly $200. They just came out. So
how many packs are in those, by the way? You talk about those a lot.
I think it's fewer than 14. Let me look. Okay. I have 11 in my head, but I don't know if that's right. It is 11.
Paldean's run, but compared to how much Prismatic and 151's moved, could the ETBs go to 4? Could the bundles? I know Alex was talking about the bundles. The bundle displays being a really good buy. I don't know what you think about that, but I kind of agree with them. They seem kind of undervalued.
When he made that video, there's no premium on them, so it makes perfect sense. And that product in general, the display, had a boom a few months ago. It's going to outpace the loose bundles, I think, but I wonder if rip and shipping makes that a little different, because you can just blast through bundles. You're rip and shipper, you buy the bundles, you blast through them. You're not opening a display, probably. So it is kind of an interesting thing. And Paldean's in a weird spot where we didn't get that many bundles, compared to like a Prismatic. So I think either way, you're fine. I would put my money in the display for sure at these prices.
That's, speaking of bundle displays too, this is going to be kind of part of my Ascended strategy, hopefully. I can't guarantee it yet, but we have a guy in the mentorship who's from Singapore. And in Singapore, kind of like Europe, they got a lot of the Prismatic bundle displays. And apparently there's going to be Ascended ones as well.
I heard that there weren't going to be. So that's not true.
I don't know for sure.
They're not out yet.
I'm only relaying what people are telling me. But if we have bundle displays and there's master cases, I'm probably gonna go in on one of those.
That's an all-in move. Yeah, that's baller. First, I remember hearing that we weren't going to get Ascended display cases. It must not be true. It's crazy that the bundles come out in basically 2 months from now.
Yeah. I don't understand too what goes on with Pokemon where we get the 25 count cases and they're getting the master cases of 60. Like, to me, it makes no sense, but it's one of those things where if you have the connect and if they do them and we don't get them in North America, there's probably going to be a pretty solid premium there.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah. Not to mention, it seems like not only are there fewer people with that type of connection, but I don't know. I don't know how sketchy it is to import something like that and get it through customs, make sure everything's fine, like untouched,
I'll
unscathed.
say, I'll say based on what he sent me and other people. Well, I'd say Canada's a little bit different. Like we don't have tariffs right now and stuff like that. It's actually not bad. Like if you're in Canada, buying from Europe, Singapore, wherever, great experience.
Yeah.
States, it's more expensive, but I don't think anyone's had like real bad experiences, at least dealing with him. So, it's definitely an option for people if you know where to buy stuff from, I guess.
That's sick. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What do you think about Crown Zenith? Do you still have any?
I do. Yeah, I got some ETBs, got some Sea and Sky. I still have some of those 10s too, the classic 10s. I like Crown Zenith. I mean, I think we all agree how good of a set it is. And I think it's always kind of it's avoided the staircase and it's just been a steady upwards trajectory. But I think the biggest limiting factor for Crown Zenith for a while has been the amount of supply that's on the market. And I think it's just a matter of time. And we're probably entering that time now where there's going to be some serious price appreciation. Product is getting off the market. When it came out, the Pokemon space was pretty, there was way more supply than demand. So I think it's just entering that period where boxes are finally getting lower. Cards are finally starting to move. And money is flowing all over the place in the space, looking for value, looking for quality. And this set has everything. It has the opening experience, but it has the quality of Sword and Shield. So I think it'll perform very well in the future. And I think it'll just be a steady upwards trajectory up until a certain point.
Do you worry that there's no like $400 or $500 top chase in Crown Zenith?
Yes, and the pops are really high. But I think you can worry less as time goes on because as demand scales, pops become less relevant, right? So, and these are cards that are always going to be in demand. Like the gold cards are incredibly unique. They're really sick. I'm personally a massive fan of them. They look like Lord of the Rings. Like they're just super unique. I don't think we have anything like them.
Couldn't go one live without talking about Lord of the Rings.
I won't say the actual reference.
There's people waiting for it.
Yeah, we'll get to that. You're gonna have to wait another 30 minutes before we drop that one.
I really like the Mewtwo as well. To me, that's a beautiful artwork. And then I've always said you have a ton of depth too.
The Mew is making a huge move right now. I don't know if you've seen that.
I actually didn't notice that. The yellow border one?
Yep.
This one?
Yep.
Wow. All right. Okay.
I think the Pikachu, personally, the secret Pikachu, I think that one's going to make some moves as well. I was watching Real Collectors, Fake Investors, Earn Collects, and Jodo Jake, shout out. They had retro specs on. He was talking about this card only being available in Japanese in the product. So it's kind of gate kept. So the English is really cheap and it's a pretty phenomenal art. And not super expensive in a 10 either. So, I think similar to 151, these cards are going to move up. I mean, they're out of rotation. They're popular. There's not a lot of amazing Pikachu cards in the modern era. Honestly, this is arguably one of the better ones, I would say, like a pure Pikachu art. So, I think a lot of these cards are going to do pretty well. I personally love the Suicune a lot. I think it's incredible.
There's so many bangers, man. You can't go wrong with this set at all.
Yeah, dude. And I'm a Deoxys head, and this has like 3 really cool Deoxys cards.
Have you
3 price points.
Have you listened to anyone talking about that Deoxys PSA issue?
Oh yeah, I watched a Possum Buds video today. You're talking about the PSA.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Like I haven't looked into it yet, but
so
seems like a big deal.
I butcher this. My understanding is that it's really bad. I think so. Somebody sent in a card to get re-holdered, re-slabbed. It was a 10. PSA damaged it. They graded it a 6. PSA in their vault, they had sold a 10 recently on February 20th for $45,000. And so they reached out to the person and they said, "Hey, we messed up your card. We'll regrade it for free, and we'll give
How
you
generous.
$20,000 for what we consider to be the fair market value."
Mm.
That's the story as far as I'm aware. So it's a shit show. It's really bad. People are speculating that they took their card, they yoinked the card, they sold it, and then they swapped it. But that's a conspiracy, I think. But it
Allegedly,
is
right? Conspiracies.
allegedly, of course. Um, but PSA, look, they're monopolizing. They can do things like this with relative ease, and I noticed I was selling my PSA 10 Umbreon from Prismatic, and a lot of the higher comps that sold above mine were only from the PSA vault. It would sell for like 4,600, and I'm like, who is paying that when you can get it for 41, 42, 43? It's like it's a bit fishy. It's definitely sketchy, and I think it is a problem.
That's a bummer though, because I remember seeing the thumbnail. It was the old cert, so it makes sense why they're sending it back in. But man, I feel like there's so many stories like this. Is it really even worth doing that if you own that card? Like, I probably wouldn't do it.
I don't understand the certs enough to know if there's because newer tens they're more revered. I think at that level of wealth or like price point and knowledge in the hobby, like maybe there's a premium there that makes sense or it makes it more liquid. I'm not really sure. It seems sketchy to me. And then on the inverse, like you have Logan Paul's 10 that got reholdered and it got a 10, and that card's not a 10. It's like a 7, So it's bad. I think it's really bad. It's very concerning, and people should be talking about it more.
Unfortunate for sure. Let's see what else we have in here. Bald with beard versus tons of hair with bald beard.
Yeah, I can't grow facial hair. So if I lose my hair, I'm literally cooked beyond belief.
And I can't grow hair on my head anymore, so
yeah,
unlucky.
but bald beard that's an elite combo.
Look, I'll say this too, and I know there's gonna be someone in the comments who says this is just coping. I actually like how easy it is now, man. Like,
oh yeah,
I just take the trimmer, 2 minutes, I'm done. I don't have to pay like $50 to get my hair cut anymore as well. So yeah, it's great.
That's the best, man. Get out of the shower, you're already dry. You don't have like damp hair all day. Yeah, that's nice.
We have Jay in here too. What's going on, man?
What's up, bro?
Let's see. I'm looking for questions too. I did pull up that. Let me share this, and then we'll go through this here in a minute.
Oh, also on that Crown Zenith question, he mentioned bundles. Not to spend too much time on that, but I wouldn't. The bundles are pretty interesting. I don't know. I'm assuming but they were Walmart. They were basically, from what I understand, like Walmart online exclusive for the most part.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah. So they appreciated very quickly for that reason. So
they did
kind of different.
I want to say it was end of 2024, like November. Maybe it was a bit earlier, October.
I found two at Walmart, I think.
Okay.
At that time.
Yeah, I found one in person too. I was gonna say though, they did restock these on the Pokemon Center there for a while. And I think they were like $31.99 Canadian, super cheap, like $26 USD, whatever.
Yeah.
And that brought the price down there for a little bit. But yeah, for the most part, they were going through Walmarts.
Yeah. I don't know what my point was on that, but I just worth noting.
I think bundles, you really just look at where the loose packs are going, multiply it by 6, and then maybe have a bit of a premium there because you can't weigh the packs or scan them.
Yeah.
So
do you think that matters at all for Scarlet and Violet though?
To honestly no. Like rip and ship culture, knowing where these guys get their packs from, and most people just don't care.
Yeah.
It seems, right? Like if you're end consumer buying loose packs, maybe you're going to be a bit more weary, but if you're end consumer buying packs through a rip and ship, then it's like all all the worries go out the window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Although the one thing, like God packs for Prismatic, like you're probably not going to ever get a God pack from a Rip and Chipper. At least like maybe from a reputable one, but probably not in most cases. So that's really the only thing.
That's a good point. You know, like even Ascended 2 now, right? Like I've seen, I watched the Nons video. They are, yeah. But if you're a Rip and Chipper, is it worth it to open the God pack off stream and just sell those singles, or do you want someone to pull a God pack? Like I think of Wenzel TCG. To me, for them, the content that they could farm.
That's a lot of money.
It is, but like you don't know what cards you're gonna get, right? You could get some of the lower tier SIRs. It's $700. How much value does that bring to your stream?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that. So do you always get one SIR and Ascended?
I think there's multiple SIRs, isn't there? I actually don't know with 100% certainty.
I guess I just mean like what the odds of you, is it like you get one of the SIRs because Prismatic is like evolutions.
Always, I think there's some attack rares, but you get multiple SIRs, I'm pretty sure. Someone's going to let us know in the comments.
So you're at least going to get one of Gengar, Dragonite, or Pikachu.
I wonder if there's been God packs without those. Like I've seen like Frostlass in there and Scrafty, so I think you could get some lower tier ones.
Yeah, that is. I think if you're at a certain level, you probably would just be better off having the hype be brought to your channel, and then you can monetize it too, quite frankly. That's a good point.
Hey, that's my collector. We're looking at Dislodge's portfolio, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. I pulled this one out.
By the way, someone just said this. You get 7 SIRs and 3 mega attack rares. Okay.
Yeah, that's cracked. So you're making bank every time.
We should take this too. How are y'all PokeTubers and you don't know for sure you get multiple SIRs and God pack? Laughing emoji. Dude,
shut up.
I deal exclusively with sealed product. I know, like we should probably just take a
Shut the hell up, man.
No clue, man. I don't pay attention to this stuff. You know,
we don't watch a couple, packs, bro. We invest. What are you talking about?
Exactly, opening packs. Like who does that? No, but that's why. Like, there's so many things that you could potentially learn in this hobby, right? Like you can't know everything. And also at the same time, why would I go out and try and learn everything if someone is going to be nice and just tell me in the comments?
Also, we were like not wrong. You know, that is one thing. Never mind. Actually, I won't even say it.
It's also something that's just like not super important, if I'm being honest, man. You know, like it's not changing my investment strategy.
It's about the point. You know, it's the point that matters. But whatever, it's all good.
I should just let you take that one.
Yeah, that's just rage bait for me.
Let me. Am I able to just do this? Okay, perfect. Alrighty, let's go through this.
Yeah, I'm gonna try on the notes here. Let's see.
Tyler, $133,000 portfolio. Huge.
I'm glad he's here. That's pretty sick. Tyler, if you could, you said he was in the chat, right? Let me see.
I think so. Unless that person was lying about it being theirs.
Tyler, if you're here, there is some like buy-in context because I low-key. Oh wait, I found it. Here we go. All right, I have a paragraph to read.
Okay.
So this is Tyler. Let me confirm it as well. Yep. Kept most of my childhood cards from 04 to 07. It's a good time to keep your cards. Got back into collecting and 2020 COVID boom, like most people. Opened a lot of early Sword and Shield. Bought all the tag team ETBs, some XY ETBs. Focused on master setting my EX era sets. Focused on collecting one of every ETB from Sun and Moon onward and one of every booster box from Sword and Shield onward. Stopped collecting in 2023. Haven't finished my master sets, but kept the majority of the lower end. Sold off 30K in 2024, including my Evo, all but one gold star Minty EX cards, and mostly anything worth more than 100 by itself. Got sold in 2024. Sorry, we're halfway done. Got back into collecting in the peak of the hype cycle in 2025. Interesting. Been buying a lot of Sword and Shield sealed in the recent dip. Did buy my Roaring Skies box for 4K. So down a bit, but it's for the PC, so going to hold. Cope. Not touching any more mega for the time being. Do want to get a single booster box of the whole Scarlet and Violet era. Finished off my booster box for Sword and Shield. I want to finish off my Stadium box collection, since that's a set that can be completed. Bought most of my Prismatic at market during the dip before its hype cycle, some at retail. Before this hype cycle. Bought a Battle Styles case for 1,100 shipped. Okay. Sorry. He views it more as a collection than an investment, which I don't know about you, but there is so much. It's less so now, but it was especially true last year. There's so much fear with labeling yourself as an investor or caring that you or exposing that you care about the value of your stuff going up.
Yeah.
You
I
know
agree.
what I mean?
Dude, I did it's so funny too. After Alex's stream that we did on his channel, I was reading the comments and there was someone who called me a plague because I didn't open packs or collect slabs or something. Obviously, the person doesn't know that I do open cards. Just not that many anymore, right? Like it's an expensive hobby for sure. But even if you don't open stuff, like who cares, man?
It wasn't like that when you started making videos in what, 2023?
Yeah, it really wasn't. I think the thing too, and this is just my opinion, you get to a certain level where people start to view you differently. And then like any sort of way that you try and turn it into a business, everyone just starts hating on you. Right? Like there's really like an emotional appeal to the underdog and everyone's favorite character. But yeah, like I agree with you. Labeling yourself an investor, it was never something people cared about because I think at the time, like there was just so much product out there.
Yeah.
And things were still fairly cheap, even like Sword and Shield back then, Sun and Moon. But now where we're at, people just want to get upset about everything. So I get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
Rug leg, you're good, bro. Don't worry. We're mostly joking.
Mostly.
Just don't do it again.
Look, I'll say as a collection, this is quite a big collection here, man.
It's pretty sick. This is a lot of portfolio value, especially a lot of it. I mean, assuming a lot of it was bought during 2025. That's the assumption that I can make here.
Okay.
So that's pretty serious amount of dough being thrown at the hobby at what we thought was the peak of the hype cycle.
I'm guessing this is the prismatic there, the Costco bundles.
Yep.
Okay.
Also, 5,096 cards.
Yeah. Let me bring that up again. I saw that. Lots of them. Lots of them for sure.
It's ridiculous.
How do you feel? This is my question to you. How do you feel about having one of everything?
And investing?
Yeah.
Like product?
Like one ETB here, one of this set, one booster box. Yep.
I think it's great if you're really into displaying that. Like an ETB, like having one of every ETB. Like that, there is something cool about that. I think it's only cool if you have the older expensive stuff though. If you have one of every Scarlet and Violet ETB and one of every Sword and Shield ETB, I'm just like, I'm happy for you. You know what I mean? But I don't feel that.
Even with booster boxes, when I see like the newer stuff, I agree with you. The older stuff, way cooler for sure.
But I'm not going to knock somebody for like collecting something. You know, it 100%. Doesn't matter. From an investing standpoint, I mean, I think people know how we would both feel about that. But
dude, I stress out only having one of a lot of stuff because if I want to take profits, like that's my last one to go. And then also it's just so many SKUs. Like it's kind of hard to keep track of. I'd rather just have like 100 of one item. Much easier to deal with. Yeah, for sure.
It's easy. And honestly, when your portfolio value goes up to a certain level and you have a lot of capital to work with, like you're not going to be dinking and dunking on sleeve packs. Maybe a case, but like, you know, it just evolves over time. You just want to be efficient and with your time and your money.
Dude, I'm getting lazier with each passing year. I don't want to be trying to sell like one of everything in the future, unless it's all going to the same person, which great. Like I'm probably getting 80% at that point, 75%, but
I'm
selling
working
on the
through
open
it.
market.
I just bought a bunch of those Sam's Club bundles with the unsealed bundle and the surprise box. I'm not familiar are with those, but I bought a bunch at 70 each, and it's like 10 packs. That's like worth that type of stuff is like worth it to me because there's just virtually no downside in my opinion. But I don't like doing it. I don't want these things are pretty bulky. They're not cool to display. I don't want to break them down, so it's like a weird position in the market, but like I'm willing to do it still, at least for now.
So I know the bundles didn't have a wrap on them, but is there like a wrap to the outside of okay.
So it's fine.
Gotcha.
But the bundles have stickers on them technically. So they're sticker sealed. But it's a little sketch. Yeah. It's a little sketch.
Gotcha. You should rip open those bundles, man. Weigh those packs.
Dude, I was thinking about breaking down my Lucario Tyranitar boxes because I have a bunch of those.
Those are the Walmart ones, right?
Were they on Walmart? I think I got
Tyranitar Vs.
They were Sam's
Target Club. Or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, Sam's Club. It doesn't matter. The Blooming Waters prismatic boxes. I was thinking about breaking those down because I don't think there's any premium on those, and they're massive. And I could weigh them. Allegedly, I could weigh them for God packs. Not that I would ever do that, ever. But yeah. That's why it's kind of funny when people are like, yeah, I don't know if you know about this, but there's people who break down prismatic products. They put them in an acrylic and they film themselves doing it. And then they put a sticker seal on the acrylic. So it's like untampered packs. But the only reason why you would do that, which they don't realize, is for God packs, because the packs are fine,
Exactly.
But whatever.
Interesting. Yeah, I hate tins. I'm full anti-tin at this point. I still have a couple, but no, can't do it. Not me.
I was at Collecticon and I got a good deal. Like they were so cheap, it was like $45 for a 5-pack Crown Zenith 10. And I was like, I'll buy it, Now I have it, and I'm not going to say I regret it, but it's not the most ideal product. I won't be buying tins in the future for investment. Although I did buy 2 mini tin displays for 151 that I've had for a while. So
the mini tin displays are kind of different though. Like those can go hard for sure.
I think they look sick.
Yeah.
They are slept on as far as displaying. I'd rather have one of each mini tin display than one of each ETB and Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet.
Okay. That might be a little bit of a hot take with people, but I'm on board with it.
I think they look cool.
Yeah, so what are we giving this as a rating, man?
All right. I don't even think we've properly looked at it. I think the cards are insane.
Yeah.
Personally. And I think it's like really good taste for the most part. I mean, it's mid-era bangers, right? Like, can you really go wrong here?
I think as a collection, it's a 10 out of 10.
For sure.
The fact that you kept all of your stuff from your presumable childhood is sorry, almost died there. Is a W for sure.
Yeah, I think it's cool. And like a good mix of modern too. Like there's, good stuff. As far as sealed goes, you submitted you submitted this for me to rate. And this is an investing channel. So your goal is to own all of the battle stadiums, the build and battle stadiums, which I don't really understand. They look okay to me. I'm not super into them. They look like for some reason I equate them in my mind to like a Battle Academy like board game. Like it just looks different. The boxes are great. I think clearly a Rayquaza fan, which is based obviously, but there's not a lot of harm being done here. I do think a lot of the stuff, you load it up on Sword and Shield in the dip, which I also did. I think you're going to do well long term, and I think if you enjoy looking at this stuff, like, you're winning. So good for you.
I think this Quack really sums it up well. Liquidation on this would take forever. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when you scroll down on this page. You start getting into 10 sets and collection boxes and Terapagos UPCs. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all over the place.
You still have some good sets though, so definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen when it comes to an investment. Like, really top heavy in booster boxes, which is ultimately a really good thing. So yeah, collection side 10 out of 10 for sure. Leave it at that.
I'm more impressed with the cards, to be honest.
Cool. Are you buying anything in particular right now, Chuck?
Prismatic bundles.
Is that it?
Pretty much.
No spicy takes?
I bought a Cosmic Eclipse box like 2 months ago.
Okay.
That was a larger purchase for me, for your boy.
What'd you pay on it?
I'm not on the Kingpin shit quite yet.
Hey, man, a 3K, 4K box, that's a lot even for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't be buying those right now.
I bought it for $3,300.
Okay.
And it's pretty minty. And
that's good.
I didn't think there would be any opportunities in the future to get it again. So it's one of my favorite sets.
What do you think about have you looked at TCA Gaming? One of his recent videos about grading some booster boxes.
Yeah, I think I watched your video on it, and I went back and watched his, but I didn't finish it. But it is interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
I like the idea of it. I think it's great.
You think it's like ridiculous though?
In what sense?
Like grading a booster box. Like what? Like, because the value would be what? Authenticating it? And how minty it is?
Look, I'll say that for me, the grading aspect of it's something that I don't like as much, but I like the idea that they're going to be able to authenticate product. Right. And again, this is in a vacuum. Okay. People are going to be like, they'll let fake stuff through. I'm sure there'll be a scandal about it, but the concept of being able to authenticate the boxes, and then even what I like, and I talked about this with Alex, is like in One Piece, cases are mappable. So if someone sends in a case, they open the case, grade all the boxes, and then they label it as uncirculated. Now you know that
would
there's
be cool.
There's still potential there, right? For your box to have a manga.
Yeah.
So I think there's good applications for it.
Well, I do think there would be a market for it. Nostalgianomics always says, and I agree, the more cardboard and plastic you put on something, the better. But there clearly is a buyer habit for a lot of people, wanting to buy a box that is minty, that doesn't have damage. It looks good. Authenticating it for those people might be a bonus, but we're getting to the point now where modern boxes are thousands of dollars. Team up is 10K or whatever. I think people generally know how to tell if a box is real, but a lot of people don't. And when big money comes into the space, they want to know what they're buying. So they'll be willing to pay a premium all day on an authenticated, expensive booster box. So there is definitely a market there. I do think it is kind of ridiculous, but it's really not. If you actually think about it, where we're moving, and if companies are starting funds of buying product, they want to know it's legit.
I think just in general too, even before this became kind of like an announced thing, people would pay more money for a box that is in mint condition.
Yes.
Right. So there's already kind of the psychology there in a lot of consumers that they want something to look very nice.
100%.
I know I'm going to have issues in the future selling my Chilling Reign boxes.
Yeah, dude, some of mine are fucked. They're like destroyed. Like literally, it's horrible. I don't even know why I bought them. I didn't really know better at the time,
I just
They're
remember
$90.
Rudy did a video one time with a Lost Origin box, and the thing, it honestly looked like a 12-year-old resealed it or something. It was so bad, but yeah,
But
they're
but then the question's like, how, like, what is the criteria for a box? Is it like how much loose wrapping is there, and is the little perforated top popped in? Because you can pop that back. Will people crack PSA 6 boxes because they can make it a 7? You know, I don't know. There's a lot of questions there, but the market will self-regulate, I think.
for sure. My guess too is, when I think about it, the Pokeballs, if those are scratched off, that'll obviously bring it down. Any rips in it. So there'll be a lot of factors for sure. It'll be fun to see. At the very least, it'll be an enjoyable experience just watching it unfold for people.
I think it would be funny. I think it's inevitable. I think when there's areas to be made and money in a market that's becoming more mature, it's almost certainly going to be a thing at some point.
100%. Pat Moore says, in PokeChuck and prismatic bundles, we trust.
Yeah. I'm buying them all day. Hey, if you're selling bundles, hit me up. They just
what are you paying on them?
It depends on who's asking. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I would buy bundles all day long between 55 and 60 something.
There you go.
Yeah. 65, you could say.
Do you know if the prismatic SPCs, is that still a thing that's coming from Sam's Club?
I thought it was supposed to, I remember the last time I heard about it, it was supposed to happen in February. And I haven't heard anything about it since. So I know as much as you do. Poke Notify, what's going on there?
I'm being bamboozled, man. I really wanted to get like 50 of those, and kind of just stack those to the ceiling too.
It's the best product for prismatic.
Do you have some?
Nope. I don't. I have none. You
gotta get on that, man.
I know. I bought I was gonna buy one at 210, but I bought 7 151 bundles instead.
Still a good choice.
Yeah. In this market, it's hard to go wrong, but one day I'll definitely regret not buying them. But now I'm like, I don't want to buy. I've never felt comfortable buying them at any price, but that was foolish in hindsight. They've always felt expensive.
We'll go deeper into prismatic here in a minute, but big super chat here from Gotta Mitchamal. Mitch,
shout out.
Goats.
Shout out to the boy. Mitch is a whale, by the way. People don't really know that. Yeah, prismatic whale over here.
Mitch, what's your biggest position? Is it prismatic?
It's got to be up there.
Yeah, I remember seeing your lives too. I'm doing very bad job at keeping up with all the creators in the space, but I remember watching your lives and you would get like 1,000 views sometimes or more.
Bro, he basically has a monopoly on the Pokemon Center Q streams.
Those are genius, by the way.
Yeah, he gets like insane views on that, and it's kind of awesome. And it's pretty helpful too if you don't know what the hell is going on, which a lot of people don't.
He says definitely prismatic.
Give us a range, Mitch. We want to hear. You don't have to though. It's all good.
1,000 ETBs, 10,000 ETBs.
I'm curious how many packs it is.
Okay.
Probably thousands.
Is that how you look at positions now?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
There's premiums on products, but it is fun to kind of do the math on how many packs you actually have sometimes.
So I'm curious.
God.
We'll bring this up from Mitch again too. 11 bundle cases. Wow.
He actually messaged me about this the other day. He bought them for 1,600 each, I think.
Wow.
Okay. I might be wrong on that, Mitch. Correct me, but I think that's what he paid.
That's a big play.
He's all in pretty much.
It's a great set. It's always been a great set. It always will be.
And it's good price.
Look, I don't know how you feel. I was so confused last year. And maybe this is why subconsciously I went so heavy into prismatic. When prismatic ETBs were like 2x MSRP, they were $120, whatever. I had so many people telling me they were going to print this for years, opportunity cost, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
But then destined at like $320 a box, $300, People are like, dude, buy this.
Yeah, they're
it's
like,
gonna
buy it
move.
because you'll never get it again at this price. It's like, I guess nothing is getting printed is the moral of the story. You know, everybody's right and everybody's wrong.
Is that why you didn't go super heavy last year though in prismatic? Because
You
you said
know,
you wish you bought more.
I do. I got a reasonable amount of ETBs at MSRP because at that time, getting ascended ETBs without a bot right now is pretty hard. If you're just doing the old notification service, but last year you had way more opportunities to get prismatic ETBs at Target for 65 each, and I was like trying to make sense of the market, I think, and that made sense to me to do. I wasn't, I didn't know what was going to happen to ETBs. They were fairly expensive at the time, like $120. So I don't know. I think hindsight is 2020, and I was just trying to operate with the information that I had. But I guess you could apply that to Ascended and say anything around $100 is the best. Maybe it's the best price you'll ever get for these again. I don't know.
I just saw this comment come in too. Vapor is all the.
Yeah, he was saying he bought too much prismatic, and I'm like, what does that even mean?
I don't think there is too much prismatic.
He was like, I literally have too much prismatic. I was like, what are you talking about?
I feel like people owe Vapor an apology, man. He was getting clowned a little bit too hard. And, some of his content, maybe it's justified, but
yeah,
he at least stuck to his guns,
I think Vapor Self is underrated. If you're somebody who invests in Pokemon, look, I have thoughts on this. Like, if you're looking to creators for advice, like, you should probably start thinking about developing your own reasoning and conviction. And I get you learn from people, whatever. Vapor Self, I feel like he's pretty on the pulse as far as his convictions and what makes sense to him. And he deploys the capital. So if you're somebody following an investing creator, he kind of checks out all the boxes from a fundamental standpoint, and that's super valid. How he puts out his content and there's some, I might disagree with some things, but like, it's nothing personal. I would say it's just, yeah, I think he was right. And a lot of people got caught up in another narrative. And then he got a lot of hate.
Mm-hmm.
What really irritates me is I like pretty much every creator in the space for the most part. But when I hear you could have bought this and had a higher ROI, when you look at the yearly chart on Prismatic and it's 30%.
That's me. He's talking about me, guys.
I guess it's like, it's a bit disingenuous,
Mm-hmm.
People aren't really buying as much at 150 compared to at 100. So it's somewhat skewed. Although Celebration's ROI is still higher, I understand, but that will probably change in the future.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's always going to be something better that you could put your money into.
Oh yeah.
So just buy something.
We're all wrong for investing in sealed because vintage low pop slabs are doing better than all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. That's where the money is right now.
Yeah, I actually had this conversation. I can't remember who I was talking to on a live. And, the idea was like, the goal is to kind of minimize your time, right? And effort that you have to put into. So it's like, if you could make the same amount of money in graded cards as you do in sealed product, 100 out of 100 times you should take the slabs, because cheaper to store, easier to ship, cheaper to ship, right? Like, if you have to move, you're just taking like a kind of suitcase or something, right? So
yep.
Yeah.
And it's gotten so easy to sell at a high percentage. A lot of people are sending cards to vault to the vault for security, and they get high percentages from that. And, it's just making a lot of sense right now. And these vintage pops are low. Look at some of these diamond and pearl pops and 10s. You're talking sub 100 in a 10, and prices are like less than $3,000. You compare that to modern, and it's like it was only a matter of time, right? It's wild. So, if you believe in the Pokemon IP, I've been considering this myself. I might allocate some of my money in my position towards vintage high, like desirable slabs, because as a store of value, it makes sense. And there's never going to be more of them. I suppose that might inherently go against some of the things I say, but it is interesting to think about, and you do have to consider that as a possibility. And a lot of people are making a shit ton of money in vintage right now. Mostly, a lot of them are just collectors who just own the cards. It's another thing too.
We started talking about slabs, and it got the people going. T Beastie says people way overlook slabs, and then
I think it's complicated. Personally.
The conversation needs to be more nuanced, right? And
yes.
that's in a vacuum. If you can make the same amount of money, like when I look at investing, Pokemon investing, I don't know what the future is going to hold. So I would rather go the low volatility route, just buy the sealed product. Again,
it's like no work either.
Exactly, right?
And it's arguably the entry of it is lower than understanding how to grade, how to pre-grade, how to sell your slabs.
How to know if your card's fake.
Right.
There's a lot.
Go to a card show and negotiate. It's a way more involved. It's worth it if you can do it. You live in a good area, you have connections, and you can make deals. I hate leaving my house, so I don't want to do anything that's not what I want to do, which is stay at home. But you're foolish not at least to entertain the idea, right? So
for sure. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
That's the most honest thing anyone said to me probably this entire week, man.
Not to mention PSA is it's its own thing, right?
Yeah. We had a couple more comments on slabs too. Slabs are relatively new. The last 2 years exploded. Sealed has stood the test of time. For sure. I look at some of these pops, man. I don't know how you feel. I've just never felt great about cards being like 20, 30,000 PSA 10 pop. And I understand the argument people use, and it's a very good argument too, that if there's like 1 million people that want the card, right, the pop's kind of irrelevant if it's much lower than the amount of people who want it. But I would still rather be in something where I'm never going to be reliant on there being a certain level of demand to keep that card price at a certain floor.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's well said.
And even if it's not the most optimal thing, right, that's just how I feel. That's how I do business. So,
and a lot of times modern slabs, I mean, a lot of them are doing really well, but they always do well when the market is booming. But, your gains are somewhat capped in a lot of cases on modern slabs, where you have to wait for the natural demand to increase in Pokemon for that pop to now be viewed as smaller than it is relative to the era that it's currently active. So like the Moonbreon, look at the Moonbreon. Pops are really high. It's basically been at the same price for quite a while. Whereas you could have invested in some sealed products that performed better, at least in some amount of times that you compare them to. So
there's seasons for slabs for sure.
Yeah. I think we're back. We're back. But vintage is just that times 1 million.
Yeah.
And there's whales coming in who know this, and they're just scooping everything up and setting markets,
K asks, question, I have about 16K worth of ultra modern, mostly SV, and about 5 to 6K invested. Should I sell all and invest into older sets, or hold all products bought at MSRP?
I'll say one thing and then you can answer. I think this is this framing of question is very common, where, should I sell something and buy something else? without even understanding what item A and item B is, you're going to have to do a lot of work to sell that thing and probably have to take a percentage of the thing that you're selling. Is item B going to be outperforming item A so much so that it's offsetting the cost and the time it takes to sell the thing at the percentage that you sell it at? At MSRP, it makes it a little bit easier. If you believe in certain things purely for investment, you should be investing in that. And I would say, yes, it's probably worth it. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? I mean, I could talk about if you should invest. I could answer all day. I would rather have this than that. But I think the fundamental underlying things are what matter the most.
Yeah, I think it's impossible to answer this, even from like my perspective. Like if it were me in this position, what would I do without knowing what sets you own? I think the other thing too, right, is there's this thought and belief amongst a lot of people in this hobby that the older stuff is better. But when we look at returns over the past couple of years, a lot of the newer stuff's actually outperforming the older stuff.
Sword and Shield versus 151.
Exactly. Or Paldean Fates. Those ETBs were the best performing product, or one of them, in 2025, up over 300%. So it depends on what you own, 1000%. And then outside of that, I think a lot of people too, if you're in a position like this, you should do somewhere between like 5 and 10 hours of research. Go over every product you own, look at the CAGR for the item you bought, and go through every single one. And then look at the item that you're thinking about buying and see how well that's done over the past 5 years, or even over the past year. So a lot of people will just be like, okay, I have Paradox Rift. Should I sell this and buy Brilliant Stars or something? Well, should you? What do the numbers say? Is it close? Because if it's close, like, I don't think it's worth doing, because you're going to eat fees selling it and you're going to eat fees buying, presumably.
Yeah. Completely agree.
And then it's a bunch more work.
Yeah, tons of work. And we also don't know your financial situation. In a lot of cases with people who have money, it's almost always, not almost always, it is sometimes better to just buy the thing that you want to invest in, and then you just sell what you want to sell. I think like trading one item for another, you're just creating a lot of hassle and potential for you to lose out on ROI, so it's hard to say oftentimes without understanding anything about you.
Chris says, missing the point, it's wealth preservation, not number go up. Well, then look, like, you got to make that part of your argument, right? Because they said nothing about that at all.
Right.
So if the theory behind it is you trying to preserve what you have, okay, then you have utility, but you got to say that's the reason.
Not to mention, if you're 20 or 60 years old, your investment strategy is probably going to be different. If you're 60, you might want to preserve your wealth. If you're 20, why are you? I mean, preserving wealth is important, but that's not the goal for investing at 20. Is not to preserve your wealth as much as it is to secure wealth in the future.
I would say too, if you have 16K, and again, like we know nothing about this person's financial situation, 16K in the relative scope of things isn't a ton of money. Like, you're not going to be able to retire on 16K.
It's not life-changing for many people. Exactly.
That's a really good way of putting it. So, where I'm at now, and again, like, there are way larger whales out there. I'm not even a whale. I'm a very small fish. But when I look at my position being like 350,000 Canadian, I think at this point for me, and at that point for a lot of people, it'd be worth having the discussion on preserving what you have, because within a decade, as long as I don't make any really bad decisions, it could be $1 million or 1.2 million, whatever. For a lot of people, that would be a decent chunk of money that you could potentially retire on or put towards a home or whatever. So 16K versus hundreds of thousands versus millions of dollars, it's all something you need to factor in.
Yeah. Not to mention, what does older sets even mean? You know,
That too.
that's a
Yeah, that's a
question
good point.
to ask. I mean, are you buying Forbidden Light? No. The answer is going to vary depending on what you're buying. So
maybe they are, man. Maybe that's the next one to
maybe
boom.
I mean, it's relatively scarce. So maybe that's the argument, that the only thing that matters, right?
Once we get
Clearly
off
not.
today, I actually have to do the XY update in my spreadsheet, and I've been kind of disappointed, honestly, over the last couple months with how XY and Sun and Moon are moving. They're kind of slowing down.
Yeah, especially with the mega sets coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're priced in.
Maybe
They'll boom again. The Sauron eye will turn on them.
There we go. There we go. It only took an hour and 20 minutes, but
it was appropriate.
There's someone watching that just went like, did a little fist pump. They're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So hopefully that answers the question. We went pretty deep into that.
Yeah.
Gotta diversify them all. Yeah, you can.
I guess.
You don't have to.
No, you're better off not, usually, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm. In this hobby for sure.
Yeah.
Question from Toronto 6 God. I saw this one. Actually, no, sorry. This isn't the one I saw. I think there was another one here. What time are we at? 4:22. I can't remember where this person put. I thought they said something about Paldea Evolved. Did I miss that comment? Oh, it's right here, right below it. I'm dumb. Hot take question. Will Paldea Evolved booster box be over $1,000 by the start of 2027?
I mean, my gut reaction is no. I don't think it'll get there. No. Yeah, I
no
think
chance.
It's already having a hard time where it's at, and it's rotating out in a month. It's just not the most popular. I mean, it's a decent set. It has a great chase and a 10. But who is buying a box for $800 at this point in its life cycle? 900, 1,000, like maybe it gets there, but do we really think people are going to prioritize this over a 151 or a prismatic? Like, I bet the rip and shipping numbers aren't that great for Paldea Evolved these days. Like, it's hard to secure packs at a good price. I don't know. You seem to agree, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. Getting to 1,000. Like, this is kind of, we're entering delusional territory, right? Believing this will happen, in my opinion. I was going to say the rip and ship comment to me makes sense, because I think looking at numbers, it seems a lot of this was probably open January, February last year when packs were still relatively cheap. But my guess is that for most of the big players has dropped off a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you spend, I don't even know what packs are for Paldea.
They're probably the same price as Ascended, roughly.
Yeah, exactly. So why would you spend $10 on a Paldea when you could buy an Ascended pack for $10 or 12 or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. And the Magic Card pull rates are brutal, and there is definitely something to be said about when I open up a pack of Pokemon, when my top chase card is $200 or even $50 versus a prismatic pack or an Ascended pack, like, that matters. And it matters. It's going to matter in the future too.
That's why I'm so bullish on One Piece still, man. Pulling like a 5K card, 10K card out of a pack.
Dude, OP13 is like, I don't think we've ever seen anything like OP13 in any TCG ever.
Yeah. I think it's going to be tough to see something like that again too
in
the future. We'll take this other question though too, because we did kind of jump over this with all these big spikes on 151 singles, which are going crazy, by the way. We should have a convo on that. Is there going to be a correction at some point? And if so, what would be the reason? Thanks, guys.
Maybe. There might be a correction. I mean, we're entering a price point where I'm just like, this is euphoric craziness. There's a lot of these 151 cards. Who's to say that if something better comes out in the future, like we get a few more S tier special sets, that 151 reaches a price where it doesn't make sense for a while for the prices to go up and then they correct. But will they crash? Like, I don't think so. it's 151. That's the main thing it has going for it. It's Gen 1 nostalgia. Despite how you feel about the arts, a lot of people don't like them as much. I kind of agree. It's Gen 1 and it has brought a lot of people to the hobby and they've always been popular. So I can't say that there's going to be a significant correction on these cards. Anything is possible, but the product is out there and it is what it is now. And they're very collectible. I don't know, but 220 on the Blastoise, like in the short term, there might be a correction.
I don't know, man. It's only up 180% in the past 3 months.
Yeah.
Only 180. It probably has a ways to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Charizard's at 4. Oh, look at this graph, man.
It's
holy cow. That's light blade too. Let me go near mint. Wow.
430.
70% in 28 days.
It's crazy. I almost bought one for 290 3 days ago. Didn't do it.
3 days ago?
I think so.
That's crazy.
Or maybe it was like 330.
Still, it was like a $400 card.
Maybe it was like a week ago. I don't remember. It was recent.
It could have been 3 days. Like a lot of people, I don't know where you're buying it, but
it wasn't
on Facebook. Don't keep up.
It wasn't listed as near mint. It was listed as very light played, which people are going to buy and sell as near mint. Let's be honest.
I think the interesting thing about the 151 run up is the pops, like you said. They're so high. So the fact that these cards are up 70 to 100% in 90 days is telling.
There's probably a factor too of how playable some of these cards are in the TCG. And there's probably something to be said about when a set rotates out of standard competitive play. There's a portion of collectors who maybe they sell their card and then people get them and then they have them. And then there's maybe a stagnation that happens after that. I think for something like this, it's operating in a league of its own. I mean, I think people knew 151 was going to perform well in the future. We might not get another Gen 1 set for 20 years. So Gen 1 is Pokemon. Like, let's be honest. Gen 2, 3, 4 are popular, but Gen 1 is the king.
Yep.
I think it's going to continue to do well.
Have you seen the Gen 10 starters?
Yeah, I covered it.
What do you think of them?
I think they're all right. I think they're pretty good. I don't hate them.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I think they're fine.
Yeah. I think the game looks sick.
Okay.
I think it looks finally like a decent Pokemon game.
Is it supposed to be open world or no?
It's like semi-open world.
Okay.
There'll probably be like, I don't know. I'm assuming it'll be like open world, but with regions, in an underwater environment. But, the Switch too, I think I theorize that they want to sell more of the console. So they actually put some effort into the environment on the game and it might actually be decent for once. Personally, I don't think they've made a good Pokemon game in like 15 years. But considering how much money they have, it's egregious.
Can you imagine if the game's fire too? What that could do for the TCG?
Dude, and it comes out next year, 2027. Yeah. I think more than likely in the first half of 2027. But yeah, we have the 30th to carry us through this year and some other things. We thought it was going to be Winds and Waves and the 30th, but now the Winds and Waves is going to bring in a whole new group of people next year. So it may have extended the bull run, but we don't know. I mean, who knows?
Just enjoy the ride.
But
are you having fun, Chuck?
I'm having a little bit of fun.
You look like you're having fun.
It's fun. I got my my jukebox behind me. I wouldn't have that if I wasn't.
Dude, did you see the pinball machines? I really wanted one of those.
So cool, dude.
Yeah.
But they're like, I'm not dropping 10 grand on a pinball machine. There's no world.
I think the most jacked up one was like 12 too. And that was the one I wanted, but
Don't they like evolve when you play? That's pretty sweet.
maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll buy a used one.
Yeah,
one can dream. One, yeah, exactly. Where am I gonna put it too, man? You know, like in storage. Storage is already full.
Put it behind you on screen. You gotta make the money back on that thing.
There's like, I don't think there'd be enough room.
You can make it work.
Honestly, man.
Those are empty cases. You'll be all right.
It looks deceptively far from the shelves. It's not that far, man.
It does.
Maybe I can put it sideways. Put it sideways, maybe.
Yeah, man. That'd be rad.
Mm-hmm. What's the best way to consolidate product? It's a good question.
Is it?
I think so.
Why don't you answer it?
The best way to consolidate product is to sell it to me for 40% of my.
Ah, there it is. Yes. I'll pay 41, but yeah, all good.
Depends on the product, I would say. I think there's some things that you could probably move as a vendor at shows. Other things maybe you're putting on Facebook. If it's all the same set too, you could probably just break it down for loose packs, throw everything in the trash, keep the loose packs, do a big lot, eBay, send it off to Probstein in a big lot of packs. They do a ton of those. So there are ways to do it.
We'll get market for it.
95%
payout.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
It's as easy as it's ever been to sell and consolidate product. So
the best way.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the best way is just to not buy bad products to begin with.
Yeah, I think the investing world's maturing somewhat. I think. I don't know. It's hard to pass up a good deal though. Even on a shit product. It's hard. Unless
you have a way to offload it though.
Yeah. Your intention should be to flip and make the profit and then reinvest it. That'd be ideal.
You're about to cook, and I cut you off.
I kind of forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, fuck. That's on me.
Oh, shit. I think I was going to say something about selling into liquidity, like in these peak market cycles. Like you should probably be considering taking some profits on some things that you no longer believe in or want to reinvest somewhere else. Like I just sold, I mean, not anything crazy. I just sold a Silver Tempest and a Lost Origin ETB for full market value because I got them for $15 each in 2024. And, you know, they're a bit bulky. I have a few of them, whatever. I was like, I'll take that money and lock it in while the money is flowing. Because if you go back even to December, it's much harder to sell things at market, especially Sword and Shield. So it's worth considering at least.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think too, Sword and Shield next couple weeks, we might see some more eyes on it.
I watched your video today.
Very good time.
Yeah, very interesting. What are you seeing? What's the not to explain like I'm 5 your video because everybody should go watch it, but what's the takeaway?
Sales volume on Brilliant and Silver Tempest, Lost Origin. It's pretty good, pretty strong. You know, not like $5-10 bucks. Right? Chilling, maybe a little bit less, unfortunately.
Okay.
But
interesting.
Less boxes out there. So either people are taking their boxes down or they're just selling outright. I think a lot of it can just be attributed to not enough boxes coming to market. There's only so many of them. So we're moving in the right direction. And it just seems inevitable. Like, why would you pay $550 for a 151 ETB when you could buy Brilliant for the same price? A booster box.
I'd rather have Brilliant. 100%.
Yeah.
There are many products I'd rather have over a good booster box. Actually, there's virtually none. Not even a PCTB. Not interested in that way.
Fair enough.
I mean, I think they're great investments, but a PCTB is like, it's an uncharted territory. We don't really have any historical data to go off of. And I think it's not as good of an offering compared to something like a box, which will always be popular, But yeah. It is interesting.
Yeah.
Sword and Chill will have his day, folks. You heard it here.
It's coming.
Hold strong.
Question. Grayson, are you going to the Big Bossa show at the end of the month? I'm not. I don't even know what that is.
What kind of shows you going to, Grayson? What is that?
Is this like a TCG thing in maybe Vancouver?
What are you doing up there in Canada?
We do some interesting things up here, man. Most of them involve maple syrup.
Yeah.
A little bit of snow.
They have that at the Big Bossa show. Yeah. Get your tickets. Sorry.
One of my guys did a presentation in my group, and I sent him some maple syrup as a thank you.
I mean, pound for pound, probably worth more than any Pokemon.
It's expensive, man. Holy cow. Like, I don't even know if it was a liter, and it was like 26 Canadian, I think, after tax.
Damn.
And that was like in save
business,
on,
man.
Dude, 100%. Like, we should just be tapping trees. What am I doing with my life?
A lot of trees out there.
Yeah, look, I'll say there's not many better things in the world than some legit maple syrup.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's what life is all about. That's why you invest.
Smother that on a waffle. Yeah. A couple chocolate chips in there.
Couple?
Yep. Just a couple.
I wanted to run off the plate with chocolate. Disgusting. You ever been to Waffle House?
No, never. I don't think we have Waffle Houses here in Canada.
Probably don't. You gotta go.
Is it just waffles?
No, they got everything, but that's what they're known for. It's an institution.
I'd hope so if they have waffle in there.
Especially where I'm from, where it originated. So,
what state are you in again, by the way?
Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Waffle House. Right on.
Shout out.
We did another shout to who? Waffle House?
Yeah, no, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Do you guys have good barbecue there too?
In my city,
go more south.
Yeah, I think the good barbecue is on the coast and in Texas. It is not here in my city. The barbecue is ass where I live, in my opinion. Once you go to Texas and you have barbecue there, it's ruined for you forever. It's still good, but it's not like that's like life changing. You know what I mean? We could have a whole stream dedicated to food.
I'm hungry, man.
Me too. Can't wait.
Cloudfire super chat. Thank you, bro. I picked up 4. Oh yeah, you're telling me about this yesterday. I picked up 4 TCG classics for 200 Canadian. I know the Rudy opinion. Thoughts on these OGL? I don't know what OGL means, but
the cards inside.
Maybe original.
Yeah.
Original reprints, especially with 30th hitting and vintage popping off. Yeah, could be a play. It's not something I would buy. They're big, they're bulky. But again, maybe people won't steal them because they're too big. So maybe that's meta.
They'll just take the cards inside. It isn't. Aren't they pretty cheap relative to like, Celebrations, Charizard, and all that?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I know the sealed product's going up a bit though. It's doing okay.
It's interesting.
Hasn't done the best compared to a lot of other sets, but who knows?
Yeah,
sure. Could be a play for sure.
I would never buy that, but
Celebrations, that was something where this year it's done very well. And I don't think in the future it's going to do as well as it's done this year. So maybe there's going to be a time for the classic collection.
I don't believe it'll ever do as well as it can do leading up to the 30th. I think even after the 30th, it'll have some growth. Don't get me wrong, but not at the rate at which it's going right now.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of obvious. Could be wrong.
I think Cloudfire, I think you said, though, that was like a really good deal, right? And wasn't it a Jamaican lady you bought them from? Nice old Jamaican lady.
Well, I
feel like I remember that comment. There were 600? Okay.
They are now.
Yeah. Easy flip, dude.
Hey,
So
this thing I
no
bought for
brainer.
200 that's now worth 600, was that a good buy? Fuck you, man. Just flexing.
I'm gonna butcher this. Is it Ben? Ben Segev? Or is it Ben Segev? Either way, thank you for the super chat, man. Question. I'm sorry for butchering your name. I try my hardest. Okay. What should I do with my 3 booster box DR cases? Average cost $260. And do you think prismatic will reach 151 prices?
Bro, hold on to those things forever. You're
Mm-hmm.
good. Hey, brother, you're good. Don't worry. You're going to be all right.
Yeah. Hold the DR.
Yeah, you're good, man.
That's what I would do. Especially now too, like, you know, a month ago when they're $600, maybe there was an argument. Now they're $500. Just hold them. Right?
Oh,
If you're
that's
gonna
Booster Box Ben. Everybody knows him. Is that
this guy?
Am I missing something?
Is this a new comment?
Yeah. Oh, he said, "Oh, that's Booster Box Ben." Everybody knows him. I think I'm getting trolled.
I think you might be.
I wanted to hear your thought, though.
Yeah, hold the cases for sure. I wouldn't be selling them. Again, I can't give advice, right? Not advice, but if it was me, I would be holding the cases.
I mean, why? What is the reason for selling? Do you think something else is going to increase? Do you need the money? You know, without knowing anything about your situation, it's hard to say. But if it were me, I would be holding on to those and not selling them ever. You're never going to get a booster box case of Dust and Rivals cheaper than what you got them at, in my opinion. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
And those are going to be expensive. They'll be $1,000 boxes one day. Mm-hmm.
Probably in June. Yeah.
In June.
One day is June now. You know,
Paldea can't get to 1,000, but Destin will be there in 3 months.
One day is 1,000 years in Pokemon.
What about Prismatic reaching 151 levels?
It's possible. It's hard to say because they kind of come from 2 different worlds when they were released. You know, the print cycles are different. I could see it happening. I mean, Prismatic is probably the most likely contender given its age, given when it's rotating out, given the set value. The PSA 10 values are very high. If it continues to get, I mean, it'll probably depend on how much is printed through April or whenever we get our last wave of product, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say it'd be hard. I don't think it'll pass it in price, but it's possible.
I think it's tough for a newer set to reach an older set because it's always playing catch up and it's always going to be behind by a couple of years.
And the disparity between the demand when 151 came out and how much they printed versus when Prismatic came out is like massive to me. I mean, maybe the demand will bridge the gap, but I don't know.
I think that whatever 151 hits, Prismatic will probably get there eventually. Like I can see Prismatic packs being $50, $100 in the future.
It's inevitable. For sure. Yeah, it's inevitable. When is, you know, who knows? In the next decade, almost certainly.
We did another super chat here too. Arma and owns Armana owns gaming.
Arman owns gaming.
Arma and owns NZ game. Okay. These names are tough. You know, why can't we just get normal? Like, shout out Mitch one time. Gotta Mitch them all, dude. It rolls off the tongue, guys.
Yeah, but were you like an Xbox kid?
This does give me Xbox 360, Modern Warfare 2.
He's holding it down, so you also have to respect it.
I do respect that 100%. Yeah. You know, I had one of those names too. Yeah. So I get it.
My old Xbox 360 gamer tag was I made it when I was 8. and it was Mafia Killa 7.
Mafia Killer 7.
The 7 was for Michael Vick, who I don't know if you know.
Dogfighting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's known for now. At the time, it was a little different. But yeah.
Vic was the GOAT quarterback, man. He was really good.
He was so sick, bro.
Yeah. I think Ascended is better than Evolving Skies.
L.
I don't think I can get on board with that. Evolving is just such a...
I'll say this. Ask the same question in a year when better sets than Ascended have come out, or 2 years.
Ooh.
Will you still feel that way?
You're cooking now, dude.
I don't know. People would have said the same thing about Prismatic, or they did. Was Prismatic Evolving 2.0? Is it better than Evolving? Now, I don't know how many people were saying yes to that, if I'm being honest, but
I think I was.
It's a similar kind of thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I had it in the convo.
Evolving is just a top 5 set all time.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, let's be honest. What set has the quality of Evolving? None. Pound for pound, it's goated. You could make an argue that, you know, there's some mid-era stuff that's pretty cool. You could go down a few rabbit holes, but like, it's Evolving Skies for me. Ascended is great. It's S tier.
100%. Yeah.
But I can't look at that Dragonite and be like, yeah, that Mega Evolution form is better than Umbreon or Rayquaza. Like, no.
The Rainbow Pikachu as well.
Yeah. Cool I do like that card, but it's
I do as well. I do, but can you really compare that? I mean, Evolving, you have the Moonbreon, peak artwork.
It's insane.
Then you have Rayquaza, another dope artwork.
Like the Dragonite.
Yeah, Dragonite.
Another Umbreon. Has 2 Umbreons. Like, what are we talking about?
Leafeon VMAX, Sylveon VMAX.
That's the thing about the alt arts in Sword and Shield is like they were so creative. You know, like that. When I look at the Leafeon VMAX, even I'm like, bro, it's just so cool.
Yeah,
you know, the
where he's
full
got his
card art
foot on the barrel.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up on screen.
Yeah, bro. The art.
We gotta show Evolving some love.
Let's be crazy. People forget. People forget about Evolving sometimes. You know.
I think you're right when you kind of allude to it being recency bias.
Yeah, I think that's a part of it.
And by the way, like, you know, if it's just Arma's opinion on like artwork and stuff, like respect for sure. As an investment though, do we think Ascended's gonna do the same levels as Evolving? Probably not. Yeah. Like Evolving really was that set. I forgot there's this Rayquaza V too.
Yeah, that card is insane actually.
Really
I even like the Leafeon. I even like the Glaceon, the Sylveon, the Espeon V. Those are all good to me.
Yeah, the VMAXs were dope. So were the Vs. Just
the Dragonite's my personal. I don't know if I quite can say it's my favorite over the Moonbreon, but that card in person looks incredible.
It's a good looking Dragonite too.
And the pose and everything about it, like it's peak. I'm a fan.
I really like the Rayquaza.
Yeah, that it's so unique and just badass, you know.
Hey, it's starting to make a little bit of a move here, guys.
Yeah. It reminds me of, I don't know if you ever played World of Warcraft. It reminds me of Mists of Pandaria expansion.
I never played WoW. So, yeah. I was
a
RuneScape kid.
Oh, me too. Up. RuneScape is my #1 game ever. But, yeah.
I was chopping yew trees in South of Falador. Oh, yeah. No, GE was too... Well, I played before the GE was out.
Yep.
So that was one thing. But
those were the good old days.
Yeah, it was really populated.
You had the markets. Want to buy, you know, want to sell. It was great.
Everyone's spamming their wave things.
Yeah. Those are all those kids are vendors now at card shows. It's incredible.
Unironically, there's probably a lot of people that went from RuneScape to Pokemon.
I see the overlap in interest for sure, and like thinking generally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Evolving's goated. Let's be honest. What are we talking about? Also, the Dragonite in Evolving is better than the one in Ascended. That's my opinion. Am I crazy?
I would agree with you. I do really like some of the Ascended artworks, though. You know, for what
it's a great set. Don't get me wrong.
For what Pokemon's cooking, like I don't think you could make a Mega Dragonite with these wings look any better than they did in this card.
I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think that card is as good as it can be because like, you can't really see him that well. You know?
Can you imagine being this guy or this gal? And then Pokemon's telling you that this is the Pokemon you have to make it artwork for.
Yeah, he just basically deleted the mega form. Doesn't exist hardly. I think what's your favorite card in the set? Like
it has to be Gengar.
Yeah.
I love the Gengar. It's great.
It's kind of a hot take.
Awesome. Is it though? Like
I'm not really, but it's not.
I like the Pikachu as well. That's really cool. I like for Alligator. You know, Gen 2, Gen 3, I grew up on that, so.
I think the Mega version of this Pokemon's rad.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the Forest Pikachu.
That
card's phenomenal.
I agree. Like this is up there for sure. It's very simple, but it's everything you need in a Pikachu.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite card ever?
Ever?
Or in the modern era? I know you don't talk about singles, but I'm curious.
I'm gonna look for it. There's an XY promo. I can't remember what number it is. Where it's like Pikachu. I want to say Electabuzz, and this one right here.
Oh yeah, that one's sick. That's from Jolteon.
Yeah, this might be my favorite card.
That's a good choice. The XY promos are insane, especially some of the Japanese ones, like the Charizard and the Venusaur ones are really cool.
I also really like the Pikachu secret rare from Cosmic. That was actually the first slab I ever purchased.
Yeah.
It's like him in red. Really cool one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a classic. It's kind of slept on.
Do you have a favorite?
Honestly, the one that comes to my mind is Fusion Gengar. That card just does it for me. I love everything about it. And it's Gengar, which is my favorite Pokemon. But this card rules. I'm a big fan. And this is like when around the time I got back into the hobby, like, it was like 2020. Mm-hmm. This is 2021. Of course, Fusion was like, at the time of release, it was not well loved, but I think everybody loved this card.
So in like, I want to say May 2024, I just got back from Colombia with my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. She came to visit. We opened 2 of the collector chests that had Silver Tempest, Astral Radiance, Fusion Strike. And I think there was only 1 fusion pack. It was 2 Astral, 2 Silver, 1 Fusion. She pulled the Gengar out of 1 tin.
Oh, and she doesn't even care.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Hey, you want to know the most painful thing?
And you're like, let me sleeve it. Put that down.
We did sleeve it. We did sleeve it. I was freaking out. She's looking at me. She had no clue what was going on.
Oh, it's so funny.
But we sold it for, I think, like 475 Canadian. It wasn't going to be a 10. Like, it had whitening on the back and stuff. Like, it was probably going to get an 8 or something. But, at the time, 475 Canadian was like come out to like 350 US.
That's wild.
330. Man. Yeah.
I remember when it was that price. Feels like yesterday. Also, one of my favorite cards ever is one I just sent you, the Tag Team Espeon Deoxys promo from that collection box.
In Discord? Oh, okay.
Yeah, or you can Google it. I don't know.
Let me bring it up. I think I can find it on. Oh, I'm in Google right now.
I just need the link. But
Espeon Deoxys?
Yeah, Espeon Deoxys.
It should show up here.
Yeah. Yeah, that one on the left.
One?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a dope card
This
as
card
well.
goes unreasonably hard to me.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the box too. Go back and look at the box that it came in.
This one?
I opened like 5 of these on the shelf when it came out
That's a dope box too.
in 2020. You know how much these are?
$500, $1,000.
Yeah.
I didn't even see this number. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
bro.
One sale.
It's disgusting. Yeah.
I covered,
Makes me sick.
I think it was last week when I was doing the eBay auctions. There was a box that sold for like $9,000, I think it was. It was from 2009. It was something trainers something. Can't remember. But like 9K, and it had 4 packs, I think, of Diamond Pearl era. Like it was just so rare. I couldn't find anything on it.
Bro, those collection boxes and 10s they don't exist.
Yeah.
One of my grail items that I want to own is the first 10 with the Gen 3 starters on it. I forgot what it's called. First Pokemon 10, I don't know.
Zuko left a comment too. I was just going to bring this up. The 151 Alakazam is up there. It is one of my favorites, obviously, too. Like, I think that's the goated Alakazam. Yeah, it's dope.
It's gorgeous. I'm a big fan. I have one right now. I actually vended for the first time a few weeks ago. Okay. I literally cooked somebody alive buying one of these, and I feel bad.
You're sounding like Gary V, dude. Ripped his fucking face off, took his cards.
Fucking idiot. I paid $30 for it.
That's almost $100 now, I think, too.
Yeah, it was like,
I want to say.
I talked about it on my live stream. No,
how did vending go? Wild. Was it good?
Dude, it was insane. It was really fun too. I had a blast. I
remember you said you wanted to do that more, right, this year?
Yeah. It's also a really good way to sell sealed that I have that I don't want. But yeah, I had a blast. It was really, I like interacting with people, despite not leaving my house. I like interacting with people. So it was cool to like do that and see another side of the hobby and see what people are buying. And it's true that Black Bolt and White Flare are very desired because there's so many illustration rares. People want to collect them. They're looking for them. And there's a lot of people who want each one, right? So it's it does make that set interesting, but it was interesting to see another side of the space and kind of connect all the pieces, you know.
Cool, man.
Highly recommend.
We've been going for almost 2 hours, so I think we should probably wrap it up. I'm getting hungry. I got some work to do. I know you're hungry.
Yeah, I had a coffee at like 4 at work, and it's wearing off, and I'm getting shaky. So that works for me.
Is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I don't know. I yap so much on my channel that it would be criminal for me to act like I have something else that I need to get off my chest, you know? So I think I'm good. What about you?
No, just buy Pokemon, guys. Put your money to work. You know, I've been saying that for a couple months now. We're back. We're booming. And if you are waiting for $40 Ascended Heroes ETBs like you were with Prismatic, it's probably not going to happen this year.
Yeah. I would say one thing, not to be emotional, but like you in times like this, guys, if you're watching, if you're new especially, you're going to be comparing yourself to people. We're talking about our portfolio sizes. There's going to be so much FOMO in this space. Just do the best you can with what you have, and you will get there eventually, you know, and just make good investment decisions based on reasoning, and you'll be fine.
Guys, if you want to check out Chuck's stuff, I have it linked in the video description right at the top. youtube.com/PokeChuck.
That's it.
PokeChuck. There you go. Thank you, man, for coming on. We're going to have to do this again sometime.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad I was the first live stream. Kind of built your channel from the ground up?
It was all you.
I'm just kidding. No, good. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it again soon.
Thank you for watching, guys. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. We're out.
Later, boys.